Mina Sankanitra, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be talking about pathways of education, so post 18, post 16, whatever you want to call it. There's many opportunities these days and I think some are not heard about enough. So first off, you have GCSEs. Now obviously after GCSEs there are so many opportunities these days, and particularly when you are choosing your GCSEs, you may or may not have been told to choose GCSE options wisely and also take into consideration about what you want to do within the future. Now, when I did my GCSEs, I took triple science, and then I also did, as my other three options, geography, Japanese and music. I think as well, when you're choosing your GCSEs, don't be pressured into doing a GCSE that you don't want to do. Don't even think about it. If your GCSEs don't go as well as you want them to by the end of it, I wouldn't worry at all, because GCSEs do not define you. In fact, no exam defines you in any way, and no one can stop you from making the choices that you make either. With post-16 education, there are so many opportunities these days, and you have A-levels, you have college. At college, you can do BTECs or another college related course, and then you also have apprenticeships. So I'm going to start with A-levels because I did A-levels for 2 years. Well, that was a mistake and a half. A-levels wasn't the best experience for me. So I went and did biology, chemistry and maths, and I didn't really enjoy them as much as I should have. And I think it was because originally I wanted to go and do chemistry, music and maths, and it didn't turn out that way. I think most people just think A-levels are going to be absolutely fine, and I can tell you now from doing A-levels, it is a nightmare. You have so much work to do, and I mean, if you go into a job, you have so much work to do. And I think to choose at 16 what you want to do for the rest of your life, it is a hard choice, and you can't really just base it off GCSE sometimes. It's got to be also based off what you love. And my top tip definitely would be, when you're choosing what you want to do after your GCSEs, make sure you go and do something that you love. Because I dropped into the hole of wanting to go down the science path route, maybe genetics or biomedical science, and by the end of A-levels I didn't really enjoy them that much, and I was pretty much ready to say bye-bye to them, because I think in some ways I just didn't really like it. I don't know whether it was because of the teachers, or if it was the course content, or if it's because I didn't really understand it. And I think as well, you've just got to be in that position of knowing what you want to do. I didn't really love my A-levels. I got put into something that I didn't really want to do. And yes, I should have left after the first year. And I think sometimes you've just got to go with your heart. If they're not for you, definitely just go and do something else that you enjoy. But my problem was at the time of not wanting to broaden my horizons a bit. And I would definitely recommend that when you go and choose to do something with post-16 education, make sure you go and broaden your horizons, because you've got to have a look at all the other possible options, and you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. And that's also what I did too. But in particular, make sure you go and choose the right A-levels for you. If you don't go and broaden your horizons, you're just being a bit of a lazy git. And I think as well, I did A-levels because I had this thing in my mind: if you don't do A-levels, you don't get to go to university. Now that's not always the case, and you can do a BTEC level 3 course and still get into university. So please don't worry about not doing A-levels if you are doing a BTEC level 3. I think also it's not the end of the world if you don't get where you need to be, because there's always other options afterwards, which I will go on to later. I was so determined just to try and get good grades in biology, chemistry and maths, because I know that they are the hardest A-levels that you can probably do. In some ways it's like you put so much effort into your A-levels as well, and you don't know what you're going to go and do next, in a way. Like GCSE, I guess. I don't really know that much about it, but BTEC level 2 is mostly like a GCSE level, and then level 3 is more of an A-level standard, but it's not really A-level, because there's always this comparison between BTECs and A-levels and saying that BTECs are equivalents of A-levels. Well, they kind of are and they kind of not. With A-levels, they are more exam-based, and I know especially with the new specifications that it's no coursework at all. You have to do exams for like 2 or 2.5 hours, some even 3 hours, and it is so much stress trying to fit everything in that 3 hours of what you know. If you want to go for a top Russell Group university, I would definitely recommend doing a BTEC Level 3 extended diploma, because most universities look for that, especially Russell Group universities such as Leeds, Birmingham, Manchester. With BTECs, I think there's so many upsides to it. You've got coursework, you've got different styles of examinations. So most of them, well, I think all of them are internal examinations. And I'm not saying that in the horriblest way possible. You won't know what else is out there. And especially there were other colleges where I could have gone to 2 years ago, whereas now I'm doing another 2 years, which I don't really mind because it's something that I am enjoying now, but I kind of wish that I was doing it 2 years ago instead of now. I would still go and check the entry requirements, especially if you're wanting to apply for university. Some universities don't accept BTECs as a qualification. I mean, there's other qualifications that you can go and do, and some will say, can you do a BTEC alongside a few A-levels? And I think that's sometimes the case with Oxbridge, but then again, I would still go and check the entry requirements because you never know, and if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's something I've always been told as well. And then you have apprenticeships. Now currently it is at £3.80 an hour. I'm not too particularly sure. However, I would say go for apprenticeship if you are wanting to go for like media or engineering. If you're going to go on to do a different college course that's not a BTEC, I would just go and check what kind of course it is, and if you could still go on to do university or whether you can go into an apprenticeship. You've got to also think when you're choosing what college course you want to do, what possibilities you can go on to afterwards. Because I think that's the main important part, whether it's an apprenticeship or university or whether it's going to work in the real world. And I think sometimes if you waste 2 years on A-levels and you don't do as well as you want to and you go into the apprenticeship, people who start apprenticeships at 16, they will be a bit more ahead of you in a way. But saying that, some apprenticeships you can't get until you're 19. So again, I would take every single step to have a look at what opportunities there are and what you can go and do afterwards, because I think that's the most important part. But I think don't be put off by apprenticeships, because some apprenticeships are really good and they give you the skills and you can go on to work in the real world afterwards, or even the company that's giving you the apprenticeship, they may offer you a job there, and that's probably the best thing that you can get out of it. And I think if you're stuck between two things, don't worry about it, because life takes a path and it takes its turns as well. So I wouldn't worry about a single thing at all if it doesn't work out. And I mean, there's always other ways around going to university. Even just going for an apprenticeship, you can still go on to go to university, and I think that's also quite cool. And then obviously you have post-18 education. So if you've just scrolled up now, you're now at the post-18 education point. So getting into this, you have university, you have apprenticeships, you have also the real world jobs that you can go do. But you can also go and do a college course again, even if it hasn't gone well for you. I know one of my friends, she's gone, well, she's now in Northern Ireland, she's gone to do another college course in travel and tourism, and that's just one of the examples. And I would definitely say have a look whether you have to pay or not, because if you're having to pay, I know it might put you off a bit. If you've not enjoyed your A-levels and you want to go and start something new with a different college course, definitely go and do that. I mean, there's people who drop out after the first year of A-levels, and I can pretty much see why, knowing from my experience. And I think in any case, if you're not enjoying it, don't push yourself any more than you already have been doing. So you also have university. Now obviously It's the time of year, September, I know, it's a time of year where your teachers are probably like, are you going to university or are you getting an apprenticeship? Because that will be the time whether they say, yes, we need your personal statement, we need a lot of things, we need your predicted grades and all of that. And obviously you want to know what you're working at and what your teachers have predicted you. When I was at sixth form as well, they normally put it up 1 or 2 grades. Make sure you get it in by January, because obviously you're guaranteed whether the university will accept you or not, and they will look at your application. If you do it after the certain date in January, I can tell you now that they probably will not look at your application until they've gone through everybody else's. So make sure you get it in soon and early as possible so you have those options back. If you are wanting to apply for university, make sure you go and have a look at the open days. If you are late with your UCAS application, say if you decided back in September, oh, I don't want to go, and then after you've done all your A-level exams, oh, I think I want to go now, there it still is clearing and there still is places, but it might not be for the universities that you want, but I would definitely go and check them out. Everybody says when you go on an open day at a university, you definitely know there and then whether you've got a good feel for it or not. And I think if you have a good feel for it, definitely put it down as one of your choices for UCAS. And I don't think I've said it already, you get 5 choices for UCAS as well, so make sure you use them all up quite well, to be honest. I think if you have 4 and then if you want to add another option, I think you can. I didn't do that myself, I just went for 5 and I just did it that way. Even after A-levels you can go on to do an Access to HE course. I think if you're 18, I don't know whether you can do it, you would have to check with the college, of course. Don't go for university that you don't like and you're just choosing it out of the bag because your teacher says, oh, you're not good enough for the other universities that you have chosen. Definitely go with what your gut feeling is and take on your advice instead of anybody else's advice. You have apprenticeships at post-18 education. Obviously you have got those options again, and you can go and do engineering, media. There's so many other options. I will leave a few links in the description of different choices that you can go into as well, and a few links that might help you out, might not help you out, I don't know, but it's your personal preference at the end of the day of what you want to do as well. And then obviously you have student finance as well. Now you need to make sure you get this done straight away and as soon as possible once the dates are out and everything, and don't leave it till last minute. Definitely do not leave it till last minute because it is such a stress. And even if you are applying for any of the things such as DSA, I would definitely recommend you get this sorted as soon as possible. You have the interview, you do every single thing that you can to make sure you get that money for university as well. Go and do something that you love in life and don't push yourself to do something that you hate. I think that's everything for today. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. So for now, I'll say matinee!